Awesome. I know we have a lot more, but I can't wait to see your demo. So let's switch to that.
Okay,
Give us
so
some context on what.
so yeah, the context is I volunteer as an advisor for a nonprofit called Why, which focuses on decentralizing AI. So the whole concept, it's personal AI oriented and focused towards that. The If not for Quai, I mean, the enterprises have their own vested interest in revenue maximization. So who else is going to look after your data? As we go through this journey, we all feel like, okay, there's different tiers of data we all operate with, and there's something that's truly personal, and you don't want to hand out to some enterprise. And so, how does that work? And what are all the frameworks that are needed to securely trade your data or share or do things that you want to do in a private manner? But so in this particular demo or research that we are doing is how can we take so there is this, you can run local models. Everybody now knows you can get LM Studio or Olama or any of these and run local models and do stuff. And there is the other way to do this is to use the APIs from the tech giants for a fee. And you can get better responses or outputs, right? So then the real question now is there something that's possible where a community can run these models in a truly distributed fashion? Like the closest analogy I have is the BitTorrent or the Napster type of a model where everybody owns a little piece and they all connect over the network in a peer-to-peer fashion, and they share the resources and benefit from it, right? So with that being said, the foundation for this comes from Petals, which is part of a big science research group. They are the Bloom. I think a few years ago, Bloom model was one of the models that was done by these guys, which was pretty state of the art at that time. And so they actually published a library that'll let you run distributed inference for text generating models. So this is text generation, right? It's not visual processing or audio processing, video processing, all those things, but it's just purely GPT style text generation, right? So what they have done is given a framework where you can take a model which consists of decode layers. In case of Llama, it's like 32 decode layers, let's say. You can split across people these layers and still work over TCP/IP and get the inference done. So in essence, what it means is you don't need very high-end GPU to do the job, and as long as you have a community of people that are supporting that. So that's basically the motivation for it. Yeah.
So just to summarize it for me is you can run this on if you have a gaming device, you can run some of these models remotely. You can pay for it to be run in the cloud. And this is the intermediate layer, which is basically you use your community. And there might be instances where you either don't have a gaming setup or you have other like-minded people who are willing to share their processing power to be able to run projects that you couldn't do by yourself for cheaper than paying for like a hosted solution, correct?
Correct. So that's one side. And then over the last 2 years, we also see that models come in different sizes. And models can run, certain type of models can run in other non-GPU like NPU, or you have a CPU-based models or NPU-based models, and a different type of hardware support is there, right? So if you think about it, like the odds are in the future, people own one of these types and probably they can share part of it. Like if you are contributing just CPU, there are tasks like routing, just like a discovery and routing you can assist with in a community, just to contribute your CPU. But if you have something a little bit more powerful, you can contribute towards inference. So things like it's a network that has different types of nodes that need different type of, it has demands, right? So some come from very simple CPU tasks. Some go as high as GPU tasks. So that's the beauty of this. You can share any level.
And there is some projects like this in the crypto world that are use you call it decentralized
physical, DeepIn. It's DeepIn. It's called DeepIn, decentralized physical infrastructure networks. Essentially, against the cloud providers, right? Can a community host their own infrastructure to get job done?
And they get paid in tokens for giving their
Correct. Different,
processing power. Is that how it
different deepins are different models. They call it, the latest one is called mining AI or whatever. They come up with different fancy terms, but at the end of the day, it's just tokenomics around what you're contributing towards the network, right? You're contributing
got it?
GPU, CPU, whatever it is. All of these have variety of models where you get rewards for that.
Perfect. Okay. Exciting. Okay.
Okay, so for this demo, what I have done is I have hosted the Llama 3.18 billion instruct across different nodes. As you can see, the center one is my personal gaming desktop here with the NVIDIA RTX 3090. Obviously, that has more throughput than the NVIDIA T-Force that are available on AWS. And you can also see that out of 32, 16 are hosted on my PC here at home, and the other 16 in a redundant way are split in 2 nodes in East Coast. So how distributed? So this, I've intentionally set it up so that there's one on East Coast and one on West Coast. It has to go through the internet to get the job done, to produce the output. So what we have done is also we have taken the Petals and then we added the OpenAI compatible API to it, because Petals has only a Python SDK, which really doesn't make it connect to everything else that's going on in the open source world. So what we have done at Quai is that we created this layer, which is the OpenAI compatible RESTful API. Now you can connect it to tools like OpenWebUI, which is very similar to LM Studio of sorts, right? So essentially what you do there is connect the, if you go connections, you will connect this whatever API URL that the community is hosting. And then immediately you get the same feel as any other model you're hosting locally or ChatGPT or whatever. In this case, I have 2 examples. This is the Llama 8 billion instruct that we're hosting between these nodes. And let's see if it can. It's going to be obviously, first thing is it's distributed and it's spread across 2 nodes, and it is not going to be real like fast like the ChatGPT, but it should come back. Yeah, it should come back with something fast enough, right? So this is plain GPT, right? Just generating the text for you based on what you're asking. That's the simplest use case. Now, while it is doing that, we can always go to the more complex. This is more, this one is what we have done for Quai is based on a knowledge base, right? Basically, you throw a bunch of documents in here, it creates a vector database, and then you can query against it. So let's see whether it can search the knowledge base and come up with what's the mission for Quai. In the meantime, the other one finished, right? So again, just to show it can do concurrent processing. It's not like stuck with one request at a time. And the other chat is still going now. It's finished the knowledge search. Now it's coming up with a response shortly. Again, I think this will all get faster as you have more people join the node in your local region. It's a peer-to-peer network. The more you have in your nearest neighbor, the faster the response becomes, hopefully.
So the model is distributed. So now you showed you had like 3 PDFs for it to get to. So is the data distributed? Is just the inferencing model is distributed?
So currently the demo has model that's distributed, but we have another effort within Quai to distribute the data. So when you talk about RAG, retrieval augmented generation, we have data, a bunch of files getting indexed, right? And as the data becomes larger, now the question is, where is it all hosted? Is it in my PC? Can we host it in multiple locations or even spread it across the internet, like with IPFS type of a file system? These are all things that we are currently exploring. So that's the second stage where we can not only do distributed inference, we can do distributed RAG, and eventually when homomorphic encryption comes in, maybe we can encrypt all of it and people at that point will not worry too much. But for now, it's all like whatever public data that you have, you can run it through the system, right? Yeah, I'm not obviously going to put all my personal data through the system because it's a similar structure like any other LLM out there. Everything is unencrypted. Everybody can see what's coming through.
So if you're running use cases just for just an infrastructure use cases, hey, you don't have enough processing power, you don't want to pay for it with one of those providers, so let's use a distributed network. Second is this is specifically at this point, it's good for public data, or I think we talked about it, if you have data about a specific neighborhood or something where everybody has access to it, but the community is sharing between themselves. So it's not really public data, but it's public for that people who are part of it. So those are like some of the subset of people who can take advantage of this.
Think about educational institutions, Rajni. They have compute. They always work together as a group. Now, with something like this, they can bring up a cluster that they can infer within their own data centers, right? Or they have their own compute. They don't have to send the data out to other places even, right? So there are cases like that where there's nonprofits or for-profits which have ability to get together as a community. Now you can host inference for your own, or maybe you have a model that you don't want to host in the public and you want it for your own community benefit. Things like that, right? You can conduct research or you can host stuff in a community.
That is cool. Okay, we've gotten to the Airbnb status for AI then. I like it.
Exactly. I think it provides similar.
That's amazing. So, okay, I can't wait to see. Like I said, every time we come up with a new model, like with reasoning, we are always like looking for some use cases that we can leverage. And again, just to remind the audience, you and I have been working on a few use cases. We're going to showcase that. But if you guys are listening to this and you are an entrepreneur, or the other big group that we've been talking to is consulting companies, right? You guys have your existing clientele. You do not have a AI practice, but you say, you know what, I can offer some of these services to my clients. We would love to talk to you to say, hey, what kind of use cases are you thinking about? We have a lot of workflows, and just see if it's something that we can help you build that you can showcase to your clients. So what we are building is an AI engine, right? And it's your idea, but our AI engine to execute your idea. And can you get there faster? Can everybody learn this and do it in the next year? Absolutely. But that's what we've been doing for the last 2 years. So we love to work with you guys to see some use cases that we can build for you. So reach out to us if you have any questions.
Well said, Rajni. Yeah, as always, we are here. Come up with any questions. We are here to answer. Thanks, everyone.
Perfect. All right, team. All right, everybody. We will see you next time with a lot more fun current news and also some of the demos we've been building. So looking forward to talking to everybody.
Thank you.